We're back on the west coast of New Zealand for a few days of hard wheeling. In this episode we take on one of our usual warm-up tracks, except this time it really gets the better of us. What's usually a 2-hour track turns into a 2-day mission, with countless bush mechanic repairs along the way. This was quite the adventure.
I think I snapped something.
It shouldn't be flopping around all loose like that. Kia ora guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. We are in my happy place. We're in Reefton on the west coast and we are going wheeling. So it is now 12:30, we've had lunch and we are going to go and hit some local tracks. You've seen us do them before quite recently in the wet, but we're going to just boost through them in the dry and hopefully have a real good afternoon. We hit the tarmac for a few kilometres before reaching the start of the track, where we aired down the tyres and shifted into low range. The track we're tackling today is one you have seen on the channel plenty of times before. It's fairly short, has a couple of really fun obstacles, and is one of my favourite tracks to go up for a quick drive. Typically it takes us a couple of hours to finish, but today we had no idea what we were in for. The first real obstacle hits a couple of kilometres in, so with plans to hit some more local tracks afterwards, we weren't wasting any time. As always, Ilsa and I are behind the wheel of the trusty beater truck, my Discovery 2 TD5. It's a true budget build, but somehow it punches well above its weight. Joining us on this trip is a new face to the channel, Charlie in his 1KZ Hilux. This is a recent purchase of his, and it's the first time he's really pushing it on some tough tracks. So this weekend's going to be all about testing the Hilux out, getting some serious seat time, and most importantly, figuring out if there are any weak spots on the truck that need to be addressed before we go on any remote hard wheeling trips. Now this Hilux isn't your average 4-wheel drive. It's got a twin-charged 1KZ engine, that's right, turbocharged and supercharged. It's also running solid axles, 35-inch Maxxis trepidors and a front locker. With all these mods, it's a weapon on paper, but as we're about to find out, there's nothing like a shakedown run to uncover some hidden issues. Speaking of issues, on the way to Reefton we ran into a bit of a problem. The beater truck threw up a warning light on the dash. The ABS was acting up. While that doesn't usually cause issues off-road, without the ABS working properly, it also means that the Disco's traction control system is down. Now, I'm running an Ashcroft ATB front diff in the beater truck. It's a gear-driven limited slip diff. It's a great piece of kit, especially when paired with the traction control, which helps it send power to the wheel with the most traction. But without the traction control, the ATB acts more like an open diff in the extreme conditions, rather than a conventional LSD or locker. So today, I'm essentially running the truck with an open front diff, which is going to make things a bit more interesting. Yeah, put some rope on the winch horns. And if the first bit goes alright, we'll just winch it. Otherwise, if I get in a pickle here, I'll just skull drag my way up the bypass line that's been real chewed out and I'll just be diffed out. Sounds like a plan. Let's go put some rope on the horns. With the bypass track looking pretty chewed out, I figured, why not give the main V-notch a go? I've always wanted to tackle it, but I've never actually committed. Charlie reckoned he'd shout me dinner if I sent it, and honestly, that was all the motivation I needed. We loaded up the winch horns with some rope for a quick recovery and lined up for the climb. Right away, the lack of traction control was obvious. The front end only wanted to spin the wheel with the least traction. Not ideal. To counter that, I had to drive with one foot on the throttle and the other hard on the brakes, trying to balance the load between the front wheels to give the ATB a fighting chance of pulling us forwards. We had progress, but such aggressive left foot braking puts a massive strain on the driveline. ideal, but I mean, these stock CVs have taken a lot of abuse, so I'm not surprised. It was kind of time for something to let go. I've just been pushing them more and more, so good excuse for some chrome ollies. Look at the CV boot here. It shouldn't be flopping around all loose like that. Like, yeah, I can't really get to it, but alright, time to pull the wheel off. Oh, alright. Interesting. Oh, that is definitely broken. Yep, that's junk. Right, well, time to fish out the new one. That's what one should look like if it's a little bit rusty, but that's alright. Slightly rusty boy going in.
You're kidding.
It's like locked solid.
It was right about here that I realised I'd probably stitched myself up. Discos aren't exactly known for their strong axle shafts, and having snapped countless ones in my old Disco one before upgrading to chromollies, I knew that the beater truck's CVs and shafts were living on borrowed time. I've got to give it to them though, I've been genuinely impressed with how much abuse they took before finally letting go. They seem a lot tougher than the Disco 1 axles, which is just one of many reasons why I'm such a fan of the D2 axle platform. Thankfully, I've been carrying a spare set of CVs and axle shafts, ready for when the inevitable happened. What I hadn't checked though was the wheel bearing itself on the spare axle, and it turned out to be seized solid.
Why did I never check? I just assumed that.
You don't assume that it's going to be seized. That's an absolute stitch up.
So, CV's busted, and I feel so stupid for never noticing or checking, but my spare CV appears to have a seized wheel bearing, so it doesn't spin. So, to get us back home, well, back to camp, I'm cutting the CV boot because that's all that's holding the hub to the and CV to the axle shaft. So we'll pull that out, separate them so I have a wheel bearing, bolt the wheel bearing back in, and stick a ragging in the hole to stop any of the oil falling out. Go back to camp and lick our wounds. CV. It's interesting, it actually broke the shaft, not the CV like cage. That's pretty surprising. Alright, well that's joyful. I guess we should try and pull out the worst of that before sticking it back in. Well, it's mostly back together. I'll just show you what we've gone ahead and done. So, we've got a rag in the axle shaft, in the axle tube, and then we've cut the CV boot and disconnected it, and the busted CV is over there. So, yeah, I can't believe that I have been carrying a spare CV all these years, and that it is completely locked. I just can't believe I've been carrying it around all this time, and I never even thought to check. Anyway, yeah, bit dumb, but it happens. So we'll put the wheel back on, drive back to camp and work it out from there, whether we go and try and find and pick up another CV, or whether we try and get the wheel bearing off the broken CV and put that wheel bearing on the good CV. And yeah, one way or another we'll get it sorted. Didn't even need to do anything. Straight on. Charlie was pretty keen to have a stab at the bypass track, not the main line that I really shouldn't have been trying. Looking back, without a proper locker, without a front locker as well, because I was, in saying that, the CV's just a bit tired on it, a lot tired on it, but anyway, it's all good. Anyway, Charlie's gonna have a crack. Alright, just like that. So many regrets right now. In saying that, I do think that the CV was probably primed and ready to go because I was pushing it a bit, but not that hard. Good drive, mate.
Yeah, boy.
Straight back. Alright, and roll through it from there.
I'll go first again. I don't want to break it.
That rear LSD doesn't do much, does it?
Nah, it's useless.
Alright, come back again.
Just the whole front end doing it.
Yep. Second, and then turn left sooner. Maybe first, but from, just come back. Why did you stop? Try go left if you can get to there. Yep, good. Nah. That rear's killing you, man.
Yeah, it needs a lock right.
Yeah.
Charlie certainly gave it a red hot crack, but without a rear locker to help push the Lux up the climb, it just wasn't happening. Time to bust out the winch.
Righto, so that was entertaining. Good to see a little bit of wheeling. Not gonna lie, a bit jealous of Chrome Ollies right now, but anyway. Charlie's just gonna go find a spot to turn around and then we're gonna shoot back down, pick up the broken truck and cruise back to camp. So yeah, entertaining afternoon. What have you gone and done?
Oh, no comment.
No comment?
Too much sand.
Too much sand. So, dirt in the bead because living the non-beadlock life. So we're just going to chuck a bunch of air in it, turn around, try to get back to camp and sort that out once we're back at camp. Very graceful.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Whatever. We've got the trucks back here. Charlie's got his bead all sorted out. So yeah, thanks to Reefton Motors for sorting that. And then, yeah, time to pull that all back apart again. Righto, well fast forward, not quite 24 hours because it's the following morning, but we got the CV back in. Huge thanks to Reefton Motors for letting us borrow some tools to change out the wheel bearing. So yeah, we are pretty much all sorted. Also, massive thanks to another new face to the channel, Leroy, who's in there. G'day. He drove up from Reefton last night with a new CV for us, so massive thanks to him. Anyway, we're back at the main climb of the track, and we are not going to try the V-notch. We're going to take the chicken track and winch because it's obviously raining today. So yeah, we'll shoot on up and get winching.
You probably did. Because Mark was making a real mess right here.
Unlike Charlie, who is on 35s, the beta truck's only running 33s. This results in less diff clearance, and with the wet conditions there was absolutely no chance I was driving this one. I'm running a Nova winch with some custom modifications, etch fabrication riser bars and a red winch ox motor. This gives me a faster winch, which really makes a difference on these long pulls.
Oh, to have 35s, especially trips in a 35.
That's not ideal.
All good?
I think I snapped something.
Oh, really? Have you?
Yeah, it's sick.
What?
I've bananaed my top arm.
Oh no.
This one here, Tim.
Yeah, I can see what one.
Not.
How did you do that?
Snap into a stump.
I didn't really
I've
hit.
never seen an arm bend just from like side load. I've only seen them bend when they get hit with something.
I've never I didn't really.
Now, I didn't bother filming the straightening process, however it consisted of the beta truck parked behind the Lux, with the winch hooked up to the steering arm. Then we just winched it back until it was about straight, and crossed our fingers that it would hold on for the rest of the track. This next obstacle was just 50 metres from where we fixed the steering, and if you listen closely you'll hear Charlie do another bead. Now, it wasn't a full tyre off rim kind of situation, just a bit of a burp of air, but it did create a slow leak. The problem was, no one noticed at the time, and as we pressed on, Charlie's tyre was only getting flatter and flatter.
So Charlie's gone and done a bead again. Unfortunately, the wide rims and
Lack of talent.
no, I wouldn't say lack of talent. Maybe just bouncy truck. It's real lumpy and maybe not enough PSI in the tyres has led to the spare going on because it's not really the time to be trying to clean out and reseat a bead. We'll worry about that later. Yeah, we've got about 500 metres left of the track, so we'll boost through that and then deal with this properly later. Righto, that is the end of that track. We're now up on the Reefton saddle. Charlie's steering arm has gone and bent again. I didn't bother filming it when we straightened it, but we winched it straight. But obviously it's quite weak from being straightened. And it's gone and bent again, so that plus he's got one tyre off the rim and his other tyre's leaking. I think it might be time to head back to camp. This trip is I think this trip the coast got the better of us. We've not had the best luck over here lately, but I still love coming over here. My truck's going alright, got no traction control this trip, which is making a real big difference in terms of I'm having to drive it a lot harder. Unfortunately, the three amigos came on as I was leaving, so no traction control, but yeah, rear locker only, and the truck's getting through. So you don't have to have an expensive truck to come out and do it, or a crazy truck. But in saying that, I'm really looking forward to the next round of mods I've got planned for the better truck. Deja vu. Unfortunately, spare's off the rim. And it's running, what did you say, like 20, 25 PSI?
25 on that one.
25. Just clearly those rims, the width, don't like to hang on to tyres. What a pickle. Well, some of you trucks finished the track. Righto, so what we've done is we've cleaned out the bead in here because it was full of mud. Just washed it out with a Powerade bottle, just squirted it all out. Well, mostly all out. In fact, there's more there. But cleaned it out and then ratchet strap around to put, like, compress the tyre in and lift the bead up so that it's making a bit of a seal. And now we can put air in it without it all just escaping, and that should hopefully pop back on the bead.
To suit the bead.
Probably not a lot.
It doesn't even read on the gauge. That's why it keeps coming off.
Okay,
so
let's go 30.
Quick PSA, wide rims, especially Steelies, do not like holding beads. If we hadn't already made that clear. Alright, we'll take that off before I blow the ratchet strap apart. Oh. And we'll whack some pressure in that. Which is becoming a new problem. But
With no more than 50 metres to go, Charlie found himself in a right pickle. Both driver's side tyres were leaking, with the front one completely off the rim. The truck had jammed up against the bank, so changing the tyre right there was not an option. It had to come forwards. But with the right hand tyre flat and dragging into the bank, it loaded up the steering, and sure enough, the steering arm bent again. But this time, it bent bad. We started winching the truck forward, hoping to take some pressure off the steering arm. However, the further we winched, the more the steering arm bent.
Alright, stop there.
How's that free spool?
Not very free. Right, so the current issue is we're like 100, that's not even 100 metres from the track. We're so close to the end of the track, but with the front tyre flat, yeah, that needs changing. So we're trying to get it up to a flat spot just here in front of me, but the steering arm has bent so badly that, as you can see, the wheels are turned pretty hard right. However, he is full left on the steering box, and yeah, the arm is just mega bananaed. So what we're going to do is run the winch rope all the way under the truck, use the rear axle as like a pivot point, and then come back forwards to the arm and try and pull the arm straight, because you can kind of just see the steering arm. It should be heading off on an angle that way. See if I can get a better. That's pretty hard to see. Anyway, you'll see it shortly. Oh, go on.
No.
What? No, go on.
Okay.
Oh, on camera!
If you imagine his tyre, if you can't see it on camera, this is his tyre usually, and right now it's like this.
Tap it. Tap it.
Yeah, that moved.
Tap it. Tap it.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. It was like multiple taps. It's got a long way to go. And one more. Yeah, stop there. I think you're probably best to just try at that. Other option is I back up and I winch you.
Despite the arm being slightly straighter, we realised that the tyre had to be changed where it was. We dug the bank away to give us access and swapped the original tyre back on, now that the bead had been reseated.
Right, so we've disconnected the steering arm at the knuckle, so now the steering wheel and steering box does nothing, it's just completely free. And we're just going to winch it, and then manhandling the steering pretty much. So, ready?
Yep.
A bit that way, if possible.
Try it.
Yep, that's good.
You want to stay high?
Yeah, probably.
Finally, both trucks were at the end of the track.
Well, fast forward, 15, 20 minutes. We have got the wheel off. We've got a very bananaed steering arm out. It is bent in like multiple axis, or planes or whatever. Cooked. Anyway, I had a spare, slightly bent steering arm for a Disco 2, because I just like to have something in case I destroy one. So it was in the back of my truck, and we're like, well, let's see if it's close. The tapers on the ball joints are different, but it is surprisingly close in length. So we're just going to bolt it in and see if it gives enough steering that we're able to get out of here, and then arrange a correct steering arm once we're back in Reefton itself, because we've still got probably 10k of like ridge line and then back out to town. So yeah. Ideally, if we can do it all in one rather than doing a couple trips to go and get parts, that'd be a win. Yeah, that's all good. Yep, alright. That works way too well.
Like, it's literally, I've got a little bit less long, but thanks Tim for the spares.
Yeah, let's go. Let's get out of here.
Who would have thought? Turns out a Disco 2 steering arm is almost the perfect length for an LN100 Hilux with a surf steering box and high steer knuckles. Talk about a win. With that sorted, we packed up our tools and hit the ridgeline track back towards Reefton. Now the ridgeline track isn't exactly a proper wheeling track, more of an access track really, but it has epic views and a couple of obstacles to keep things interesting.
Upgrades.
You reckon?
Well, I haven't broken anything yet.
I haven't either today.
We've upped it to 1 track today, so tomorrow we might get through 1.5 tracks.
Drive.
Soon enough, and we'd hit the only real obstacle along the ridgeline track, a deep water hole. It's not that impressive, but it was of a little bit of concern for the beta truck since it doesn't have a snorkel. Charlie went first to confirm the depth, and once he had scoped it out, it was time for me to take the hero line to keep the Disco's airbox high and dry.
That so looked like you were slipping in.
Oh, it felt so like I really didn't want the driver's side to fall on the passenger side because it'd get really tipped over and I'd get stuck and it would be really deep and the ECU get wet, but I didn't want to slip in at the same time. It was quite angly. Alright, we're good.
As soon as we made it back to town, we swung by Reefton Motors to once again be a pain and ask for a little help. Not only did they let us borrow the press to straighten the Hilux's steering arm, but they also found a length of pipe with the perfect internal diameter to sleeve it and strengthen it up. We've got to give a massive thanks to them for going above and beyond to get the Lux back on track. So cheers guys, we really appreciate it.
Yes, night run.
Did you just say night run?
No comment.
Righto, so Disco 2 arms out. And the upgraded arm is going back in. So, huge thank you to Reefton Motors for providing pipe, their workshop, a press. It was really good of them to do that. I mean, we're able to get the arm sleeved, and rather than just straightening it so that Charlie was able to drive home, we've now sleeved it and we're able to go wheeling tomorrow. So that's a big one. So yeah, once again, huge thanks to them for that. Hey Els,
Yeah?
show us your apron.
This is from Julius. Hey Julius. Brother, this is in the plate.
Well, as usual, I forgot to outro the video, and then when I remembered, it was dark and a bit late to do it, so doing it this morning. We're all sorted now, going to head out on the tracks, so stay tuned for that by hitting subscribe if you haven't already. That video will be out next week. Give us a like if you've enjoyed today's video, and don't forget to leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of it all. There was a lot of shenanigans, a lot went wrong, but it's always a good time on the coast. So yeah, with all that being said, we'll catch you all in the next one. Cheers guys for watching, we'll see you then.
Oh, yikes, the transfer case is quite leaky.
Have you got fluid?
On the outside,